Hello and welcome back to Oscar Recap. Today we will recap.
At the prom, the single boy danced alone in a duet and kissed the air in a frenzy. This bizarre behavior causes laughter among his classmates. The boy suddenly realizes that he has been haunted again. The beautiful dance partner he had just met is a ghost that no one else can see. The boy falls to the ground in terror, and the ghost dancer is so distraught that with a scream, she disappears into smoke. Yes, the boy has psychic powers, but he has not yet realized. But he doesn't realize what his powers are really for. Growing up, the boy became a wretched teacher. He was always bullied by his students. He changed schools a dozen times. One day, he applies for a new job at a new school. Strangely enough, the headmaster took a quick look at his CV and immediately agreed to let him work. William doesn't know that the school is haunted. The previous one, in the library, he was nearly frightened by a moving skeleton. Will William be the next to go? He is about to go to class and he asks a girl with glasses for directions. The girl with the eyes looked at him with horror. Then she runs off in a hurry. William is confused. He had to look around for her. He happened to go to the library on the third floor. There was a row of burnt boards in the corridor. When he pushed the door open, it was in a state of disrepair. It looked as if it had been abandoned for decades, and it was a sight that only the psychic William could see. In the corner of the library sits a strange student in a leather jacket. He's the ghostly boss of the place. Danny has the other ghost scare William with flying books and floating chairs to scare William. Seeing no reaction from William, they then resorted to the ultimate trick, the moving skeleton frame. But as far as William is concerned, it's just three naughty students playing a prank on him. Until the eye girl comes through the wall. There was a teacher who could see her. He shouted. It was frightening as hell. Only then did William Corner realize the students were all ghosts. He fled in a panic. He ran into the headmaster on the way. He immediately resigned. The 5 ghosts were in pursuit, but just as they reached the school gate, they were bounced back by a force. It turns out that the ghosts cannot leave the school. When William returned home, she found the headmistress standing guard. She guessed that William must have seen something. The headmaster took William back to the school and told him the story of the 5 students 24 years ago. On Christmas Eve, 5 students who had made mistakes were left in the library in solitary confinement. When a fire broke out, none of them survived. Since then, the school has been in a state of flux. The headmaster pleads with William to help convince them to leave. If the school is not haunted again, the school will not be able to survive. Looking into the headmistress' sincere eyes, William couldn't bear to say no. The next day, he went straight to the library to negotiate with the 5 ghosts. The negotiations failed. He was hung from the climbing wall. Hey! Undeterred, William, he went to a psychiatrist to ask for a way to redeem the dead. Not the living shrink, but the one who had hanged himself in the back. The doctor told William that people become ghosts when they die. Usually there is some unfinished business. Those students turned into ghosts and still couldn't leave the school. It was probably because they hadn't graduated from school. So William, as a psychic teacher, he had to find a way to help those 5 ghosts finish their graduation exams. This student stayed in school for 24 years without graduating because he was a ghost. 24 years ago, a fire in the library, and his life and the lives of 4 other students were forever frozen. Their souls were trapped in the school. Now the 5 ghosts look at the thick textbook in their hands, all confused, because William had told them to get out of here. They had to complete the school's graduation exams, so the 5 ghosts got together to discuss it. The blonde boy had long been bored with this place. The girl with the eyes wanted to see the outside world too. The girl in the yellow dress wanted to find her boyfriend. The boy in the shirt wanted to go to a disco for once. Each ghost had a reason for wanting to get out, except for Danny, the ghost boss. He also has an inexplicable temper tantrum. At the school choir meeting, Danny encourages the girl with the eyes, who likes to sing, to get up on stage and sing along. No one can see her anyway. The girl with the eyes believes him, but as she sang, Danny quietly turned up the microphone. Then people heard eerie singing from the stereo itself. This mess not only fooled the students, it also broke the heart of the simple, kind-eyed girl. After that, Danny was isolated by his friends and the other 4 ghosts begin to follow William's lessons. However, the loneliness soon became too much for Danny. He has to give in to his friends and admit his mistakes. Join the learning team. Ghosts don't need to sleep. They study continuously 24 hours a day. William is also an all-round teacher. From science to literature to sports, he teaches every subject carefully. Although to the untrained eye, he was a self-indulgent psychopath. Soon after, the final exams began. Some of the ghosts answered carefully. Some of the ghosts looked away. At the end of the day, the results came in. The girl with the glasses got a perfect score. Even the boy in the shirt barely passed. All the ghosts passed the exam. They graduated. Just then, a bright ray of sunlight shone through the window. Everyone was filled with nervousness and anticipation. Is it going to happen? But as the sunlight swept through, nothing happened. Nothing happened. What was going on? Was William lying to the devil? They all went into a rage and they left the library. Then the school was in trouble. The pots in the cafeteria exploded. The skeleton frame ran onto the school bus. William finds the hanged psychiatrist in a rage and asks why your methods of supernatural therapy haven't worked at all. The doctor says it can't be, unless the students had unfulfilled wishes. Or maybe someone had committed a crime and hadn't admitted it. William thought about it. Could it be Danny? He went back to school and said to the 5 students, "You can't get out of this. It's not because I'm lying. It's because some of you are hiding something." Under pressure from William, Danny finally reveals the most painful secret in his heart. The fire that killed his friends 24 years ago. He had said it. 24 years ago. A fire in the library turned these 5 students into ghosts, and today they realize that the fire was set by one of their own. Danny said that. He set the fire because he thought that if the library was on fire, so that everyone could go to the Christmas party without being locked up, but the fire was too fast to control. He couldn't control it.
Tenía miedo. ¿Miedo de qué? ¿Y si salgo de aquí y acabo en un sitio
Turns
peor?
out that Danny, the bravest of them all, but he was the weakest of them all, too afraid to face himself, and too afraid to take responsibility for his mistakes. What Danny doesn't know is that, when his friends found out the truth, they didn't blame him. 24 years of being close to each other, that was enough to wash away all the hate. It's just that he can't get over it himself. In the meantime, a big event has come to the school. The head of the education department comes to inspect the school. The school has been haunted many times before. If they don't satisfy them this time, the school will have to be closed down. The headmaster is pinning his hopes on William. This welcome party must not go wrong again. The bald man from the school council took the headmaster aside. He thinks William is a psychopath. He said that there were no ghosts in the school. The headmaster had had enough of this smug man. In her anger, she shouted out the bald man's name. The girl in the yellow dress was stunned to hear. This greasy guy in front of her was the boyfriend she had been looking for 24 years. At the gesture of the girl in the yellow dress, William asked the bald man, "Do you remember 24 years ago? Who was pregnant and in love with you 24 years ago?" With that, the girl in the yellow dress handed him the letter he had written to her back then. The bald man saw the letter. As soon as the bald man saw the letter, he understood everything, but for the sake of his own future and reputation, he tore the letter to pieces and he is determined to be a heartless and ungrateful man. At the welcoming assembly, because the students' chorus was so boring, the leaders were drowsy. This is not good enough. William asks the girl with the eyes to warm up the room. She mustered up the courage to take on a female student. Then she started to sing a solo.
Y ahora estoy aquí.
This moving song sparked the audience with. It was energetic and vibrant. Even after 24 years of death, they are still young at heart. At this point, the bald man from the school board came on stage and said the song was so vulgar and that he was going to report the strange happenings at the school to the headmaster. Danny couldn't take it anymore, and he attaches himself to the bald guy. He says a bunch of things that are so unbelievable, including suggesting that everyone should go to school without clothes, be honest with each other, etc. The result is predictable. The bald guy loses his job on the spot. Danny apologizes sincerely to his friends and the friendship is restored. Friendships are restored. The shirt boy's wish to bounce was fulfilled at the school party. Now that all the conditions have been met, the light of true catching began to shine.
Profe. Gracias.
5 teenagers who have been stranded on Earth for 24 years. With the memories of their youth, they have ascended into heaven. At this moment, William also understands his mission. To guide the wrongdoers to the right path. To guide the souls of the departed with regrets to open their hearts and to reincarnate.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.